So, Decentraland was created by Esteban Ordano and Ariel Milik, and the first version of the game has been dubbed the Stone Age. Released in 2015, it consisted of pixels that signified ownership over the digital world in an infinite 2D grid. In 2016, they reached the Bronze Age of the project, which added the 3D aspect and divided plots of land in their metaverse. And then to develop a fast-paced environment where users can create apps, interactive content, and communicate with other users, in 2017 and 2018, the team created a peer-to-peer network and named the next stage Iron Age. Then, they launched the current age in early 2020 that is supported by the Ethereum network that basically acts as a supercomputer to support its entire metaverse ecosystem. And so here we are now. It's early 2023, and Decentraland is an Ethereum-based virtual world that allows users to be a part of a shared digital experience. In this metaverse, people can play games, exchange collectibles, buy and sell digital real estate or wearables, socialize, and interact. It's the next step in social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, combined with the next step in gaming platforms like Xbox and PlayStation, allowing people from anywhere in the world to socialize, game, create content and value, and directly benefit from that value. Because the platform is decentralized, meaning it operates on an open blockchain network, it is censorship resistant and enables true ownership of your digital assets. As you'd expect in any brand new world, this world has its own money. Decentraland's decentralized token is called Mana. This token was launched via an initial coin offering back in 2017 and officially launched publicly when the game went public in 2020. Now there's about 2.2 billion total tokens, and 1.8 billion of those are already in circulation. One of the benefits of this coin over, let's say, standard fiat is that rather than dealing with inflation, this token is designed to be deflationary. This means that the total supply of mana decreases over time, as a portion of it is burned every time a transaction takes place. This is intended to increase the scarcity of mana and increase its value over time, as well as provide an economic incentive for users to participate in this Decentraland ecosystem. You can buy this token on major exchanges like Coinbase and Crypto.com. So that's it in a nutshell. The Decentraland metaverse is not just a game, it's not just a social platform, it's not just a coin, it's a decentralized ecosystem that allows users to make of it whatever they want. A blank slate where the most creative people in the world can simultaneously share their creativity with the world and interact with other users at the same time while extracting value from the entire ecosystem instead of all the value being created going to one singular entity. That is Decentraland.
Once we can roll back some of Holiday's ad restrictions, we estimate we can sell up to 80% of an individual's visual field before inducing seizure.
Very, very cool. I have the founding team consisted of an Argentinian tech trio with a vision of decentralization. The trio refused to stand by while the centralized mega monsters like Meta, Google, and Microsoft continued to dominate our online identities. Trio consists of Esteban Ordano, a seasoned blockchain engineer who co-founded Zeppelin Solutions, a platform that automates smart contracts for companies like Coinbase, Brave, and Aave. Esteban also engineered BitPay, a leading Bitcoin payment processing service for merchants. Then you have Guillermo Jardi, a salty blockchain developer, also engineered at BitPay, known for designing some of the most widely utilized open source tools by Bitcoin developers worldwide. He was also a founding member of Voltaire, a blockchain hackerspace located in Buenos Aires. Ben, if you take note here, I don't know if you did, both of these two first members worked for BitPay, engineered for BitPay. They were both instrumental in creating that BitPay, which is connected with Bitcoin. Bitcoin created by Satoshi Nakamoto to battle the evils of centralization. We got a theme going on here. The third and final member of this trio is Ariel Malek. Ari, as he's also known, cut his teeth performing neuroscience research on human decision-making and headhunting for companies like Amazon and General Electric. He founded Benchrise, a big data company, and is known for making the following statement, and I quote, "The days are numbered for the walled garden type of organization. The idea behind Decentraland is to build an environment where people who contribute to growing the network will benefit handsomely." Shortly after launching Decentraland to the public in 2020, the trio stepped aside and left the operations to the Decentraland DAO and a board of 9 advisors, which did include Esteban Ordano. I'll give you a little insight on the DAO later in this video, but first, Ben is going to do some name dropping Decentraland style.
Okay, so one of the ways you can gauge the potential of a project is by looking at the companies that they've partnered with and with the companies that have already invested in the project. Decentraland has a unique advantage over a lot of metaverse projects because they have been around for so much longer. Because they were well established before the 2020 bull run, they had the ability to strike deals and partnerships with major companies because they already had a usable product. And that is just what they did. Both Amazon and Samsung, pretty big companies, have hosted live events in the sandbox, showcasing retail goods from the real world, as well as dipping their toes into the digital products for the Web3 world. Sotheby's Auction House, one of the premier luxury auction houses in the world, has purchased a plot of land in Decentraland, and as well as advertising their outside of the metaverse business, they also have plans to auction digital art and collectibles from within the virtual auction house. Another example, during Decentraland's Fashion Week, a good deal of luxury fashion brands appeared and participated in events, shows, activities. They had like meet and greets. Brands like, I'm just going to name some of these off. Ryan, you probably own them. I don't know many of them, but
If they're
Etro.
fancy, I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are out of my price range, but you got some Etro shoes, some Dundas, some Paco Rabanne, some Selfridges. I think I have an old Tommy Hilfiger shirt from the thrift shop. So Tommy Hilfiger, GoPay, Dolce & Gabbana, Philip Plein, Hogan, Estee Lauder, and Burberry. Those are obviously some of the biggest names in fashion. They've been here participating in Decentraland specifically, which is just huge for the project. Outside of events and shows like that, several companies have already carved out their permanent space in the project for future development. Companies like UPS, Coca-Cola, Nike, Adidas, Domino's, The Walking Dead, the TV show, Atari, the game makers, just to name some of the big ones. You can imagine the possibilities in a world where anything is possible, what these companies are able to do with the amount of money that they have and the fact that the imagination is the limit. NFT avatars wearing the latest NFT Nike shoes. You could order a Coca-Cola from a Decentraland vending machine, or have your avatar walk into a digital Domino's, order a pizza, and have them delivered in the real world by an Instacart or an Uber Eats, similar delivery services. Atari's another one, and that one's easy. You don't have to imagine. It's easy to imagine what they may be doing in the metaverse. Their games range from the simplest form of entertainment, which would be easy for a metaverse to incorporate right now, to AAA rated open world works of art. Atari's constantly led the way in worldwide gaming, and there's no reason to assume that they won't be doing the same thing in Web3. So when you have a project with partners, with not just partners, not just that they've brought in to advertise in there, but like I said, some of these companies have already bought their land in Decentraland, which means they're carving it out. They're getting ready for future development. They're on the roller coaster, ready for the ride. You can actually go in there right now and buy some of this land next to Atari, next to Domino's, next to UPS. If you like games, or if you've got a business, or an idea or something that you think would be good next to an Atari, arcade or something like that, it's just, now's the time to do it. I mean, you can actually, that's what's so cool about this, is right now everything's way more reasonable. They compare it to buying downtown Manhattan, or New York City real estate, except pretend it's the year 1750 and you've got all the money from the year 2023. That's how new this is right now. You can literally go buy a spot right next to Times Square for a very reasonable price.
Position yourself before the wave hits.
Yes.
A big part of positioning yourself, or a way that you can actually position yourself in Decentraland and be ahead of this, is by becoming a member of the decentralized DAO. The Decentraland DAO is a fully functional, decentralized, autonomous organization with the ability to participate in shaping the future of the Decentraland ecosystem. How do you go about becoming a member of the DAO? First, you need to purchase either mana tokens or land. Second, you register to vote with the DAO. How does the voting work? Community voting power is decided by the combination of three power sources. Number one, wrapped mana, known as Wamana. Each token of Wamana gives the owner of the token a voting power of 1. Number two, land balance meter, which is the corresponding land smart contract. Or number three, also land balance meter, but it's corresponding to the estate's smart contract. So the two different types of land and estates. Each land owned gives the owner a voting power of 2,000 units, meaning that having one land equals to wrapping 2,000 mana tokens. So obviously land gives you a lot more voting power. And if you own an estate, you have even more voting power within the DAO. What are some of the accomplishments of the DAO from 2022? A 2.4 million voting power per proposal. That's up 373% year over year. 1,100 DAO proposals. That's up 95% year over year. They approved 100 grants for $6.2 million for the ecosystem, so projects within Decentraland. And there's 921,000 in mana fees, which equates to $1.6 million at the time of this article when it was written, paid into the DAO, and that supports the actual grants and the funding for that. 2023, what is planned for the DAO? 2023 is being labeled the year of the creators. One of the key changes in 2023 is the introduction of a new version of the grants program, which allocates approximately $1 million per quarter into projects such as platform development, in-world content, social media content, and IRL events. If you have been following this channel lately, you know that the team is one of 5 areas we rate projects on with the MetaMentors Copper Score. And the Copper Score stands for Quality of Project Ranking. For Decentraland, the team received a 17 out of 20, which puts them in the exceptional category. Although there is room for improvement, exceptional is the highest category. Our next episode will be covering the immense amount of gameplay within Decentraland. Subscribe below or risk being left out in the crypto winter.